Hello out there. Hope everyone's having a great day. My name's Jean Baker, and you are here today to learn a little bit more about some basics on Barchart.com. Like I said, today is going to be a session that's going to focus on some basics of using the Barchart website and get a couple things out of the way. This is going to be recorded, and since you all registered for the webinar, you are automatically going to get an email with a link to the recording a couple hours after I finish up here today. So you will be getting a recording to go through later on if you need that. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about what you're here for today. You know, the title of the webinar was Barchart 101, and if you're like a lot of people that are new to coming to our website, you're going to come over to barchart.com and you might be completely intimidated by the amount of volume that we have. We have so many different sections, so many different pages. Once you get looking at a symbol, it's going to be sometimes overwhelming to get through all of the options that we have for you. And really what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to break down and give you some very simple and easy to implement tips that are going to help you get more comfortable with using our website. And hopefully these tips are going to help you find tools that you will be using daily to make better investment decisions and to make those decisions easier. So that's the goal today, is to, I'm not going to get into really technical detail, but I will try to give you some of the best tips that we have out there for at least getting started and finding your way around the website. To start off with, I'm logged into my account right now. I'm logged in as a Premier member, and you know, a lot of you come to the website, and I'm going to log out here. You come to the website and you're not a member, and that's okay. You know, some people come just to check a quote or a chart, but I do want to point out that you are not really going to see some of the benefits of some of the things I'm going to talk about today, because everything I'm going to talk about is available as a free membership tool. We have different levels of membership. When you go to sign up, we give you options. You can sign up for free over here. If you haven't already done so, it takes just a moment. Enter your email address, or you can actually connect with a social media account. And we also have a couple paid memberships. One is Barchart Premier, and the other is a no ads membership. You'll notice I'm seeing ads on the website. If you if you're annoyed by our ads, it's easy to get rid of them by signing up at least for the no ads membership. The advertisements that we show really help to fund the development and ongoing maintenance of the website. So that's why you see this. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and log in to my account and start from there. But I do want to point out that a free membership takes just a second to sign up for. So if you're not a member, really suggest that you do that. All right, I'm logged into my account. First thing I do want to talk about is our website is fully responsive. And what that means is I can use it on a desktop computer, like right now. I'm on a laptop. And I'm going to switch over here and show you a simulation of a tablet. It does also work on a tablet, and if I'm going to simulate a phone, you can also display the same data on a mobile device. So going back to the desktop view here, few things to get you moving around the website. You'll notice we have different categories of different asset classes across the top: stocks, ETFs, options, futures, and currencies. And when you click on one of these sections, you're presented with a number of additional pages that you can navigate to. Again, this might seem a little overwhelming at the moment, but bear with me, and we'll get into some of the details and how to focus on some of the top things that you can do. Now, if you are on a sub page, so I'm in the stocks, and I selected the stock market overview. You will see that we have navigation going down the left side of the page when you're on your desktop computer. These pages are the same exact pages that I see if I opened up this top menu, what we call a mega menu. So here's the percent change page, and I've got to apologize with working from home. Internet connection, at least today my internet is up and running, but internet connection sometimes is a little bit slower than what we'd like to see, but eventually the page loads. Here's the percent change page. It's the same page that I could find right over here. So on a desktop, you have two ways to navigate, using the top tabs at the top and using the side navigation. Now, when you switch over to a tablet or a phone, which I'll show you in a moment, I lose that side navigation. I lose it because just the space is not available. I still can open up the different menus from the top tabs at the top and navigate the site that way. And if I'm on a phone, and give this a second to render, I'm using a piece of software that lets me emulate different devices. So here's the same page on a phone, and again, it looks a little bit different. I don't really have all those tabs at the top that I do, but when you're on your mobile device, you open up the menu using this little 3-bar thing over on the top right corner, and you can scroll down. I'm in the stocks section, but I could switch to the ETF section and so on. So phone's a little bit different. I do want to point out that Barchart has an app. If you use our app, if you physically download the app onto your mobile device, you're going to be able to log into your Barchart account, but the app is not the full Barchart website. You're not going to get the same pages. You're not going to, like things like the stock screener. Those things are not part of the app. So if you're looking for full functionality on your phone, don't use the app. Log into the Barchart website. It's the same login, username, and password that you would use to log into the desktop. All right, I'm on a page and I'm looking at different symbols. And as long as I've been talking about mobile devices, I'm going to open up a symbol page. Once you look at a symbol, whether it's a stock, an ETF, a futures contract, again, we've got side navigation over here. So I can look at the chart for this symbol. I can go to the Barchart opinion, go to price history and historical data, and so on. So when you're looking at a symbol, the left navigation on your desktop is going to give you all sorts of additional pages that you can view. Now that's a little bit different when I go to a smaller device, a tablet or a mobile phone. So I'm going to open up GE. Again, I'm emulating a tablet here, and you'll see I don't have that left navigation. With smaller devices, you will have the option to navigate to all those different pages using this drop-down list at the very top. And if I switch to my phone emulator, it's the same thing. I can navigate to any of the pages this way. The next thing I want to talk about is, finding your way around the site. We've narrowed down the different categories of asset classes at the top and also looked at symbol pages. Well, a lot of people say, well, I having a hard time finding a specific symbol. Up at the very top, you have a search box, and it's an intelligent search. So if I start typing in some characters, it will look either for those characters in the symbol description or in the symbol itself. Okay, over here I've typed in JO. One thing I want to point out is there's an advanced search option at the very bottom. So if you're not seeing what you're looking for here, try going to the advanced search page where you can get a little bit more refined with this. You know, does it start with or end with these characters? Does it just simply contain it? And then you can also filter down by country and by asset class to find additional things that you might be looking for. It will show you a list of things that it's found at the bottom, and you can navigate that way. One other thing I want to point out, top right side of the website is a market flag. By default, when you come to visit the site, everything that you see is going to be presented for the U.S. markets, and that's designated by the U.S. flag that you see top right corner of the site. So down the page here, these are all U.S. equities. If you're looking for something different, we do carry equities for different markets, Canadian, United Kingdom, Australia, and Europe. And all you do is you select your market. And again, one of the benefits of being logged in, we remember the market that you prefer. So if you're one of our Canadian users, up at the very top here, if you select the Canadian market when you're logged in, we'll remember that. And when you come to these different pages, you'll see Canadian stocks instead of US stocks. Somebody just asked me, what's the benefit of the app? Good question, John. I kind of skipped over that. When you download the app on a mobile device, apps are built to really stream data extremely fast into your mobile device. It's a stripped down version of an application. So if you're looking to do a quick check on a quote or do a very simple chart, you want to see a daily chart or a 30-minute intraday chart, you can easily do that on the app. If you're looking for more extensive things such as screening on stocks or applying additional studies to your charts, analyzing your watch lists and portfolios and being able to add symbols to your watch list and portfolios, then those type of things you really wouldn't be using an app for. You'd want to connect to the full Barchart website, and you can do so on your mobile phone and get the full functionality that way. Since I'm looking at this page, the volume leaders page, this kind of leads me into the next segment that I wanted to speak about. The data that we see. Okay, we like to do these webinars during market hours so I can actually show you what's happening. When you are on any one of our data table pages such as this, I think you're going to see these little flashings going on in the table itself. We update the site using data from the exchanges, and again, it depends on the asset class that you're looking at. For U.S. stocks, we are updating the information with real-time data from the CBOE BZX exchange, or BATS exchange for short. You'll notice here that the times are in its Eastern time, and you'll notice that these are reflective of real-time updates. So looking at U.S. equities during market hours, you are going to see real-time updates from the BATS exchange. Now, the BATS exchange, if you're looking for real-time prices, it's as close as you're going to get to real-time prices without having to pay the exchange fees. If any of you have a real-time trading platform that you use, you know that Every single month, the exchanges require that you pay exchange fees in order to get the data delivered in real time. So the BATS exchange consolidates the data from multiple sources. A symbol can trade in multiple places. Even though it may be listed on the NASDAQ exchange, it can be traded through multiple venues. So the BATS exchange takes that, and that is as close as you're going to get to real-time pricing data. The volume data for the BATS exchange is a little bit less than what you'd see in an actual real-time exchange. So anyway, US data is real-time when you're logged into the site, and you'll see it update. If I were to look at, let's say, here, let's look at a futures data table. Futures, Forex, these are delayed per exchange rules. So you'll see over here we are delayed by the exchanges, and the only way to get real-time streaming data, again, is to go through a real-time application, and Barchart does have a few real-time applications that you can connect to get real-time futures data. All right, let's go back to the volume leaders page. Let's look at a couple other things on a data table itself. So every page on our site presents some basic information. I see the symbol, last price change, high, low, the volume, and the time. One of the things that we have available are some preset views. We're looking at the main view now. There's also a technical and a performance view. Fundamental view is available for equities. That's going to show you some fundamental data, but using the views, you can easily switch between that basic price data that we show, and in this case, I'm looking at technical data. So these are some technical analysis data points. Barchart opinion, it's an overall opinion or reading of 13 different technical indicators. If you're interested in what Barchart opinion is, there is a webinar that you can go to, and I'll show you where the webinars are before I end up here today, but I encourage you to look at the opinion webinar if you're interested in that. But you'll also see other types of data, technical data. There's a performance view, which is going to show you some different performance metrics for these stocks. So everybody's got these basic views, main, technical, performance, and fundamental view. But what I want to start by talking about is custom views. The benefit of creating a free membership is you get to create and you get to identify what columns you want to see on data table pages using a custom view. Now, I'm logged into a Premier account, and Premier users, you get unlimited custom views. If you're a free user, you get 5 custom views, but you basically build the columns that you'd like to see on your table. And again, I'm so sorry for the slowness here. It's my internet connection out here in the burbs of Chicago, but here we go. Here's a custom view that I set up showing some different Barchart opinion fields, a weighted alpha field, number of 1 month new highs, and shares outstanding. So here is the tools menu. And once you become a Barchart member, I really encourage you to go through it, look at every single one of these things. The first thing I'm going to talk about is the custom views over here in the tools menu. So you build a view through custom views. And I'm going to create a webinar view for us today. Now, Barchart has an extensive amount of data that you can get on any one symbol. And that's what you're using a custom view for. You can create a view with different data columns. And you'll see down the right side, I have some general symbol information. I also have price and volume data I can pull from, key statistics, historical highs and lows. So there are literally hundreds of different data points that you can look for or add to a custom view. The search column at the very top is handy. If I'm looking, let's say I'm looking for 6-month data. I type in a 6 and a dash, and here I see all the different views that I can, or fields that I can add to my custom view. So maybe I want the 6-month moving average, and what else was there? 6-month percent. Whoops. Here, I'm just going to open up the historical section over here and go to 6-month high date, low date, and 6-month percent. So as I clicked those, it added it to my custom view. And when I save this, I'm going to go back to, and again, I can go to any page on the website. Let me go to the NASDAQ 100 page. And at the very bottom, it's going to show me all the components that make up the NASDAQ 100. Again, every data table gives me the option to apply a custom view. And there's my webinar view. And here are the custom fields that I selected in my view to show. So really, one of the things that I can definitely point out with this is some of you might be interested in technical analysis data. Some of you might be more interested in fundamental data. Some of you want to focus in on the Barchart opinion. The custom views are a perfect way for you to really tailor the data that you see on the website. And once you create a view, it's saved to your account. So next time you log in, you can use that view again and again. All right. When you are on any data table, this is looking like it's sorting by symbol. Yes, it is in alphabetical symbol sequence. And frequently we get people say, well, I want to see these NASDAQ 100 components, but I want to see them, which one has the highest 6-month percent change. When you're looking at a table, all you have to do is click on the column header that you want to sort the data by. So right now I see that Zoom Video has the highest 6-month percent change, followed by Tesla and Dexcom. Again, you can click on any field on your data table and you'll be able to resort the columns. Clicking on it a second time will sort it in the opposite direction. So sorting data tables is an easy thing to do. Again, it presents the data for you in a different way. As a Barchart member, a couple other things right over here, Flipcharts and download, that I want to talk about. These are available to you if you log in to a free account. So again, there's no reason why you shouldn't have a free account because we're giving you more information and more data this way. Flipcharts is a way for you to look at the symbols on your page, but look at charts. Instead of looking at this data table, I'm going to open up Flipcharts and it's going to present these symbols across the page for me to take a look at. I'm going to switch to no chart template because we haven't looked at this yet. But anyway, here are those symbols from the data table, and I can use the arrows to scroll backwards and forwards through this list to quickly take a look at them. Instead of looking at the data in the data table, I can look at a visual representation better. With Flipcharts, you can change your chart aggregation. I'm changing it to a 5-day here. I can change the bar type. If I don't want to see the OHLC, I can change to a candlestick chart. And again, using the arrows, I can scroll back and forth. You can also scroll, say I want to go all the way over here. I want to look at Gilead. And use this ribbon at the very top to move through your flip charts. This template, these are chart templates, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit right now. So a template, by default, when you look at a chart, you're going to see the OHLC and you're going to see a 6-month chart with volume. That's our default template. When you log in to your Barchart account, you can create custom templates that make it very, very easy for you to change what you're seeing on the chart. This custom template is applying a 20-day moving average. So as I move through my charts, I'm going to see that same template, 20-day moving average. I want a 100-day moving average. And here's a chart with a 100-day moving average. Let's see, what else do I have? Candlesticks. This one happens to have a 20-day moving average applied to it. So let's take a look at another free membership tool called Chart Templates. It's in the Tools menu, and it's right over here. If you are a free member, you get 5 chart templates, which will really help you when you're setting up your account to show you the data that you want to see the most. If you are a Premier member, you get unlimited templates, and again, I'm logged into a Premier account, so you can see I've got quite a few of them created here. Looking at a template, it's going to ask you for a number of things. What kind of bar type do you want to see? What color bars do you want to see? Here's a candlestick. What thickness on the bars do you want to see? What size of the chart should I be displaying? If it's for U.S. equities, you can choose whether or not you want to see real-time data on the chart. And I may as well show you that now when we go and apply this template to a chart. And there's all sorts of different options. You can add whatever studies you want down here. I can say what kind of aggregation I want on the chart. This is going to follow along a lot with what we see when we actually go and apply it on the chart. So let me go ahead and save this chart template. What I want to point out to you is here in the Tools menu, as a free member, you have a page called Site Preferences right down here. If you always want to use the same type of chart every single time you open a chart, let's say I always want to use that chart template that I just showed you. Oh boy, which one was it? Was it this one, 50 to 100 day? Yeah, let me just select that one. Anyway, what I'm trying to show you is that you can tell your account to always use a specific chart setup. So anytime I go to a chart, and by the way, I can do the same thing for Flipcharts. Every single time I open Flipcharts, let me change my Flipchart setting. So you can identify a specific template to always use as the default when you go and open up either a chart or a flip chart. Waiting for my volume leaders page. And let me get a couple questions in here. Do we support tick charts? We do not at the moment. Tick charts are really, that's a real-time data application. We have tick charts in our Barchart Trader and our Barchart Commodity real-time platforms. We will go down to 1-minute intraday charts on the Barchart website. Point and figure charts, no, we do not have those yet. It's on our to-do list, and I'm not quite sure the date on when we hope to have that, but it is on a future release that we hope to get to. Okay, so here is my volume leaders. I'm going to open up Flipcharts, and remember I said to always use that one default, the candlestick default. You'll see that that's what it's doing. It's using that template as my default. Okay, somebody's asking me what's the difference between a flip chart and a regular chart? Okay, flip charts, take a look up at the very top here. Flip charts are letting me view, the symbols that are on the data table page that I happen to be on. All right, so the flip charts I was just looking at are only these symbols. Let's say I go to, okay, let me open up our cannabis stock page. And if I open up flip charts, okay, look at these symbols down here. Flip charts are the same symbols from the data table page. This is actually a really great question, because when you create a watch list or portfolio, flip charts are really, really helpful there. Anyway, if I go to a symbols chart page, it's just for that one symbol. It's not for a whole list of symbols, a whole group of symbols. Before I get too far into the charts or the watch list, I want to just show you a few other things when you're on a data table page. The links column, far right, if you click that, it allows you to jump directly to either the quote overview, the chart page, options, bar chart opinion, or I can add the symbol to my watch list or portfolio. Before I do the watch list and portfolio, one other thing, there's this option expand row. That's the same thing as clicking this little plus sign on the far left side. If I don't want to leave this page, but I want more information about a symbol, the expand row gives me the option to get a snapshot view of all this different information. So I can stay here and I can go and look at other symbols, expand the row, and look at the data that way. Excuse me. All right, back to the links column. Segue into the next thing that I want to talk about is watch lists and portfolios. As a Barchart member, you can create watch lists and portfolios. Watch lists are really just like I'm looking at a data table here. A watch list is a list of symbols that are of interest to you. They're specific to your account, and you can add really any symbol at all on the website to a watch list. When you're doing that from a data table, it's going to ask you which watch list do I want to add this to, and I can add it to whatever one or more watch lists. I can select multiples if I want. And once it adds it to your watch list, I'm going to go over to that watch list I've created. Most of us have certain symbols that we check every single day. When you want to go and you want to monitor what's going on with these. Doesn't necessarily mean you've actually purchased these things and you're tracking your current profit or loss. These are just things that you're watching. So a watch list is, again, another data table. It shows you all these different symbols that are of interest to you, and when I open up Flipcharts, it's going to show me the Flipcharts for my watch list. Next thing I want to talk about is the download button. All right, download is very helpful if you're one of those investors who like to take the data and maybe import it into a third-party spreadsheet like Excel and run your own algorithms or calculations on the data. So download is another tool that we give our Barchart members. If you are a free member, we do limit the downloads to 5 a day. Premier members, you get 100 downloads a day, and it will download all of the data that you see in whatever table you're on and whatever view you are looking at. So if I'm looking, let's say, here's my watch list. These are things that I'm actively looking at and wanting to monitor on a frequent basis. And if I want, for some reason, to show the 2-year data information and I click download, it will, okay, I'm in a Premier account, so it's telling me how many downloads I've used, but down over here you'll notice it's created a CSV file. It's downloaded that to my computer, and depending on your computer setup, your download might go to a downloads folder or to your desktop or some other location. That's really specific to your computer setup. So the download is also a membership tool with watch lists. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but boy, I have a lot to tell you, a lot of things that you can do with your Barchart account. With your watch list, you can also get your watch list emailed to you. And if you edit your watch list, you can check when you want it open. Barchart Premier members, you can get an email of your watch list with the current data up to 3 times a day. If you're a free member, you can select to get it at end of day. And there's a CSV attachment that you can also get along with, again, if you're a Premier member, you can say which view you want in your email format. All right. I'm in the Tools menu, and if you are a Barchart member, you'll, like I said, I really suggest you go through and you look at all of the different pages in the Tools menu. But we just talked about Watchlist. Watchlist is a way for you just to monitor things that you're interested in. The portfolio is something slightly different. Portfolios are used, and I'm going to switch my portfolio here. Portfolio is used to track actual trades, things that you have you've bought or you've sold, and you want to track your profit or loss. Okay, I'm not doing very well here today if I look at my P&L, but this is again a portfolio of different symbols that I've added here. With a portfolio, you add a transaction, and the transaction is, what happened here? Transaction is for a symbol, so you say how many you've bought, whether you bought or you shorted it to start with, an entry date and an entry price. And then when the trade closes out, you can put in an exit date and an exit price, fees and adjustments and so on. So the portfolio is different than a watch list, where this will actually calculate a profit and a loss, whereas the watch list does not. Same thing applies. I've got different views, custom views I can apply to it. I can display flip charts. I can download it. I am going to go back to my volume leaders page. And I do see a lot of people are putting questions up, and I hope I have some time at the very end. I'll circle around and see if I can answer those questions, just pick them off a little bit. All right, back on the volume leaders page. One of the other things that are available to a Barchart member is alerts. And you'll notice I could add an alert right here from the links column, or if I'm on any of the symbol pages, over at the very top of the page here, you're going to see icons for alerts and and to add this. Actually, I can add this to the watch list right here. Pick whatever watch list I want to add it to. But I want to talk just briefly about basic price alerts. With your free membership, you can add a basic price alert for any symbol that we have. Actually, you can also get news alerts with your free membership. So price alerts and news alerts. Price alerts can be set to monitor during the day. So these are constantly monitoring. You can also select to only have this check once at the end of the day if you are only interested in an end of day alert. And with your free membership, you are limited to a last price alert only. So with this symbol, surf, if the last price is greater than or less than a specific value, or if it's greater than or less than a specific field. So if the last is greater than the open price or greater than the last from 2 days ago, you can create an alert that way. Just to show you, I'm going to force this thing to trigger. So if last is greater than $6, it's at $6.25 right now. And you saw it automatically triggered. This alert is no longer active because it triggered. And in the Tools menu, there is an Alert Center. This alert, and I do have quite a few that are out here, but this alert, it was for surf right here. I guess I don't have that many out there, but all of your alerts are held together in the Alert Center. Every single time an alert triggers, you can have it configured to send to your primary email address. Now, if this is unchecked and if an alert triggers, you're not going to get any notification other than coming to this page. So you probably want to have the email alerts set up. Premier members can set up text alert notifications. So I would, if I had this, well, actually I am a Premier member. I got a ding on my phone that I have in the other room, so I'm not bothered during this webinar, but the alerts will trigger during the day if it was an intraday alert. All right. We're talking about this tools section, and I've been talking about your account. Very top right corner of the page is another navigation component that can be extremely useful. This will take you to different sections of your tools menu. So I can jump directly to watch lists, portfolios, alerts, custom views, chart templates, using this little menu at the very top. A couple others that I want to talk about is the profile and subscription details. We've looked briefly at site preferences when I showed you how you can set up a chart template to always use. But the profile, which again is right here on the side, profile is going to show you your email address. And every once in a while we get people saying, well, I'm not going to use this email address anymore. I want to set up a different email address. This is where you would do it. You can add another email here. You're going to be sent a notification, and once you verify it, you can use that email address. The other one I want to look at is, we already looked at site preferences. We're going to look at it again, I guess. Site preferences lets you set a number of different customization tools that you can use as you start using the site more and more. Let's look at this data table view. Remember where I was showing you the main view that shows up? Well, if you always want the technical or the performance view or any one of your custom views to show, you can change the default view for your account here in your site preferences. The other one I wanted to talk about was subscription details. If you are a Premier member or the no ads member, where we don't show you ads on your account, your subscription details is going to give you information about your subscription, about your last billing date, and so on. So just suggest that you check that out if you are a Premier or a no ads member. While I'm at, a few other things down here. There is a way for you to contact us using this contact Barchart thing. If you ever need help from our support group, it's also down at the very bottom right-hand side of the website. This allows you to ask us a question. We really do have a great support group, a wonderful group of people. They respond as quickly as they can to all of your questions. So when you send something in, be specific about what you're asking, and we'll be able to help you better that way, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. All right. Let me look at some of the questions that are coming in here. I am new and I want to know if there are any preset templates Barchart has that I can use as a starting point. Really great question. Thank you for that. In your tools menu, over here, organize screeners. I haven't talked about screeners yet, but we have a stock screener right here. Excuse me. An ETF screener. There's also a mutual fund screener. But in the Organize Screeners page, you're going to find, okay, here's all of my screeners up at the top here that I've set up. But at the very bottom, you're going to find a number of Barchart popular screeners. I happen to be looking at stock screeners, but there's also, like ETFs and funds. We have popular screeners, or at least some templates that are there to get you started and to give you some ideas. I've got a little bit of time left here, so let's take a quick look at the screeners. So some of our popular screeners down here, we can look at, let's look at strong volume gains. These are preset templates. They're ideas that have been set up just to get you started, just to give you some ideas as far as what these screeners can do. You can also, if you navigate to the stock screener, you can also find those screeners right here under the Barchart screeners. So these templates have already set up some filters. The filters on this one, last price is greater than the previous day's last price, 5-day moving average greater than the 20-day, 5-day average volume greater than the 20-day, today's volume greater than yesterday's, and I want to make sure that the volume is over 10,000. So if I go to the results tab, This is going to show me, it's actually scanning through the universe of stocks out there that meet the criteria. I really don't know what this is going to show me because I didn't run this before we started here today. Okay, there are 76 results. So these are stocks that are showing a strong volume gain from the previous session. Okay, so, 76 results. And there's a lot to look at here. Some of these, like this one, previous volume. Okay, maybe I'm not interested in a stock. This one happens to be with a last price of $1. So using one of these preset screeners as at least a starting idea, you can go and you can personalize it for yourself. So I might want to add in another last price filter. And I want to say last price has got to be greater than $5. Maybe I want volume to be greater than 250,000. So changing the filters lets you take a template to start with some ideas. Let's see what happens to this 76 results. Okay, now I'm down to 23. It's a more manageable group that I can use. I can open up my Flipcharts. Let's take a look and see what each of these look like. By the way, I'm looking at the filter view. The filter view is showing you the fields that I selected over here. It's also showing any additional information that I selected up in the top here. And you can always change that filter view to any custom view that you create, or any of our other views like the technical or performance view. So using the stock screener, it's an extremely valuable tool because it lets you start really focusing down on things that are of interest to you. Every trader has different things that they look for when they're looking for a trading candidate. And with the screener, if you find a list of things that you want to maybe just bookmark and take a look at later on, I can save this screener. I started off using a Barchart template, but I can make this my own, okay? I'm just going to call this my own screener. And there are some Premier filter options here that I can select. If you are a Premier member, you can actually get your screener automatically emailed to you at the end of the day. And besides saving this as my own screener to run, I can also take this list of 23 symbols and save them to a watch list. I can create a new watch list, or I can append those symbols to an existing watch list. So that was really a great question as far as templates to get you started. The screeners do have these Barchart basic screeners. Once you save your own screener, you're going to find them over here in your saved screeners list. Screener filters. Do you have a master list of all the filter names? There's no master list anywhere on the website, but over here there's a search. So, what is it that we're looking for? Maybe we're looking for shares outstanding. Okay, just start typing in a word, and if we find a filter that matches, you can select any of these, add the filter, select a range, and apply that to your screener. Again, I have no idea if I'm going to find anything on this list of 23. But if you're looking specifically for a filter, depending on whether you're in a stock screener or an options screener. We also have an options screener. Option screeners are Barchart Premier member features. And I really wanted to focus on Barchart 101 basics. So if you're a free member, you won't be able to get in and set the filter, but I just do want to show, if I have Premier members out in the audience, that the same thing applies. If you're looking for a specific filter, you can start typing in, whoops. Okay, you can start typing in a term, a search term, and we will show you filters that match that search term. Okay, by searching for a call or a put. That's an example. Let's see. Can we import our watch list to the screener? Okay, good question. Let me go back to the stock screener and show you how you can do that. There's actually two ways to do that. Since I've got this thing open, let me go back to my iPad simulator. If you're on your watch list, there's a screen icon over here. This is for Barchart Premier members. It's a feature for Premier members. Clicking the screen icon from your watch list will pull these symbols into your stock screener and let you apply different filters to this list of symbols. The other way to do it is through the stock screener itself. Whoops, cannot type here today. I'm going to add that filter for watch lists. It is a Premier feature. If you're not a Premier member, by the way, we offer a free 30-day trial. No reason not to sign up and see what it's all about. So here I'm clicking on the watch list that I want to start with. Here are the symbols from my watch list. I have 108 of them, and now I can go about adding in whatever filter I want. Let's see. How about if I want anything that made a new high, a 6-month high in the last session? Okay, I do have a list of 8 of them. So yes, you can screen on your watch list. Let's see. Some of you are asking some very, very specific questions with your account, like Jerry with your 4 to 5 filters. Email support on that one. If I don't answer your question, any of you out there, please email support. Somebody's asking me about the flags on the watch list. Let me go back and open up the watch list and take a look at what that is. Is this webinar available to watch again later? Yeah, I'm going to show you that right before I sign off. You are going to get a link with, you'll get an email in a couple hours. And in that email is a link that will take you to the page I'm going to show you. It's a link to the webinar. It will take a couple hours for me to get that out there. Anyway, on watch lists, a couple other things. You have a way you can add some notes to your watch list if you'd like. But if I edit my watch list, again, these are symbols I'm just looking at, okay? Things that I'm interested in just monitoring. When you edit your watch list, you can resort it. You can remove symbols. I just removed a couple, a Forex and a future symbol, and save it. And, oh, okay, here we go. So there's a notes option on each symbol. I showed you notes on the overall watch list. You can add specific notes if you want. And you can also set low and high flags. So when the symbol's price crosses above or below a specific value, the flags are going to highlight it. And let me show you what this will do. They will highlight when the last price goes above or below the value set. This flag is only going to show you the data in the watch list page itself. So if Apple goes below a certain figure, if it goes below 320, let's say, my notes flagging red. So again, watch lists are used as a monitoring tool. If you have these flags set and you come to your watch list and I see this red thing flashing, I know that Apple, the last price is below the flag that I set. Again, if I want to do the reverse thing, if Apple goes above 315, show me on my watch list, and there it is. It's a green flag. It's flashing green. As I'm reviewing my watch list, I can see that Apple has gone above the high flag that I set. So good question. That's what the individual notes on a watch list are. And again, a watch list in entirety, you can change notes that you want there. All right. I am running out of time here, and one last thing that I need to do is show you where our webinar recordings are in the Tools menu. Like I said, I really suggest that you go through and look at all of the different options in the Tools menu. Under Resources, you will see a link for free webinars. Here's today's webinar, and there's nothing there yet, but in a couple hours you will be able to review today's session, listen to it again. There's also other webinars that we've recently done that are out here that you might also find of interest and of help. So again, if I haven't answered your question today, please email support. They are busy and we are working from home, and we will get back to you as soon as we possibly can. And I really do hope that you've come away with today's webinar with a few tips that you can start using, a few things that you can start doing to customize your own Barchart experience. And really there's endless opportunities for you to get lots of different data points and data sets. Thank you again, everybody, for using Barchart.com and for being a member, and look for future webinars coming up in the next couple weeks. Thanks again, everybody, and have a good one. Keep safe, keep healthy.